Welcome to the Hacking Your Leadership guest series, where we explore leadership and culture through the eyes of leaders around the world.
That's right, Chris. We hand-selected leaders that we believe are positively influencing leadership in their industries. We sent them 4 questions we think are important in gaining insight to their leadership beliefs and style.
If you'd like to be part of the Hacking Your Leadership guest series, shoot us an email to guest@hackingyourleadership.com and let's talk.
And now, today's guest.
Hi, my name is Stephen Shedletzky, Head of Brand Experience and an Igniter on Simon Sinek's team, and thank you for listening to the Hacking Your Leadership podcast guest series. The most impactful leader or mentor in my life was one of my professors at university, a guy by the name of Dr. Dennis Shackleton. Dennis is a Kiwi. He hails from New Zealand. And he was the very first person, let alone educator, to show me that we can make it our business to see that the people around us grow and the people around us experience joy and fulfillment. He really paved the way to show me what fulfillment felt like, such that when I started my career and felt the very opposite of fulfilled, I knew that something wasn't right, and I knew that I had the power to make a change because I had tasted, I had experienced what flow and fulfillment using our talents and gifts to do good, not just for ourselves, but more importantly, to do good for the people around us. So Dr. Dennis Shackleton has been one of the most impactful leaders or mentors in my life. The first mistake I made as a leader of people, and what I learned from it, only one mistake. I would say the biggest challenge I have as a leader of people is that I like to be liked. I want to be liked, especially from people that I respect and care about. And so I've gotten into trouble and continue still to get into trouble when I will refrain from giving the hard feedback or making the time to have the difficult conversation, the hard, tough, agonizing, painful conversations that are the ones that help us get in and grow together. And so I'm constantly trying to source myself from a place where I share what will help people around me most, or even ask for what I need the most, even if it may be hard for others or inconvenience others or put me at risk of not being liked or not being popular. And so that's one, getting over my concern of being liked and focusing more on doing what's right by the people in my span of care, for our team, and for the movement that we're contributing toward. And another one that I had early in my career, I wasn't yet a leader of people, but one of the very first mistakes I made early in my career and early joining this team at Simon Sinek is I was more concerned in focusing on the ways I wanted to contribute rather than focusing on the ways I could contribute. And I think this is something that a lot of young people have to deal with early in their careers when we have skills and talents and we want to be using them in the ways that we want to use them. So for me, I wanted to be up on a stage. I wanted to be doing stuff like this, podcasts and interviews, and using my gifts and talents to experience joy and fulfillment myself, but in doing work that matters. The very first 2 years that I spent on our team at Simon Sinek, I spent responding to fan email. And while I was pretty good at it, it was hard for me to do. I'm good at responding to one email. I'm not very good at responding to 15 in an hour. And so early on in my career, my time with Simon and our team, I got stuck. I'm working for the fulfillment company and I feel unfulfilled. Well, turns out they were seeing if they could trust me. They were seeing if I was worth investing in. And when I made a shift, it took me about 2 years, but I finally made a shift and began to focus on what I could do to contribute rather than what I wanted to do to contribute. Instead of demanding a promotion, I earned it. And things have worked out for the better since I have focused on what I can do to contribute, even if it isn't what I want to be doing to contribute forever. What is the difference between a good leader and a great leader? I don't really distinguish between good leaders and great leaders. I think you're either a leader or you're not a leader. I think it's binary. I know that the greatest leaders are constantly students of leadership. They're constantly striving to learn more from the resources and people around them. Leaders are the ones who look out for the interests of others, sometimes ahead of their own interests. They will sacrifice what is in their own best interest to do what is in the best interest of the group. Leadership is a practice. Leadership is not a title. I think great leaders have great empathy. Great leaders have courage to do what's right, especially if it's inconvenient and especially if it's hard. So I don't so much distinguish between good leadership and great leadership. I distinguish between, are you a leader or are you not a leader? Are you a leader or are you an authority? Do people follow you because they trust you and want to, or do people follow you simply because you're in a position of authority and they have no other choice? So I think it's more binary than a spectrum, perhaps. How do I measure my success or success of anyone as a leader of people and a developer of talent? Well, one is, are you developing talent? Are there people in your span of care who are earning promotions within the organization or outside of? The greatest leaders amongst us create greater leaders. There's no better parallel, no better analogy to leadership than parenting. You know, I'm a parent of two kids. My eldest is just over 3 years old now, and I love her every single moment, every single day. But do I like her every single moment and every single day? Absolutely not. It's hard. But I'm committed to seeing that she grows. I'm committed to seeing that she can develop her strengths and talents and gifts to become a functioning, valuable member of her society and community. And that's the same with leadership. Leaders concern themselves with the growth of their people. And sometimes that means that they rise to ranks higher than you, and sometimes it means that they actually are best suited to leave the organization because they are better equipped to serve in a capacity outside of your team, your department, or your organization. I think the greatest leaders amongst us develop greater leaders. And as well, love the one you're with. Do your people love coming to work? Are they willingly sacrificing for each other to see that our collective work is advanced? Are people showing up to work not for themselves, but for their colleagues? And are they showing up not for themselves, but to advance something bigger than any one of us? That's how I measure my success as a leader. That's how I look to measure the success of the leaders around us. And there are many metrics around productivity and engagement. Number of sick days, right? Those sick days go down, and that productivity goes up when people want to be at work, not because they have to, but because they choose to be. So that's what I have. Thanks so much for joining and listening to Hacking Your Leadership podcast. I've been the pleasure of being your guest, Stephen Shedletzky. And if you want to learn more about who we are at Simon Sinek and what we do and what I do, you can head to our website, simonsinek.com, and you can find me on all the normal social feeds, LinkedIn, Instagram. Search for either my name, Stephen Shedletzky, or my handle, Steve Shed, Steveshed. And my final thought or call to action is an African proverb: to go fast, go alone, and to go far, go together. We are better together. Leadership is hard. It takes courage, and courage we cannot do alone. Courage requires the support, the relationship of others. So go together. Thanks so much.